Surface areas and volumes of spheres. Our objective, find surface area and volume of a sphere. So first let's define what a sphere is. A sphere is the set of all points in space equidistant from a given point called the center. A radius is a segment that has one endpoint at the center and the other endpoint on the sphere. A diameter is a segment passing through the center that has endpoints on the sphere. So there is a sphere right there. Alright, so surface area of a sphere, very easy to find. All we need is the radius to figure it out. Surface area of a sphere is 4 pi r squared, where r is the radius of the sphere. Example 1. What is the surface area of the sphere in terms of pi? Alright, so if you look at your picture, we've got a diameter in our sphere of 10 meters, which means our radius is going to be half of that, or 5. So we just plug that into our formula. Surface area is 4 pi times 5 meters squared. So 4 times 5 squared is going to be 100. So in terms of pi, our surface area is 100 pi meters squared. Example 2. What is the surface area of a sphere with a diameter of 14 inches? Give your answer in terms of pi and round to the nearest square inch. So if our diameter is 14 inches, that means our radius is 7. So plug that into your formula. That gives us surface area is 4 pi times 7 inches squared. So 4 times 7 squared is 196. So in terms of pi, it's going to be 196 pi inches squared. And then if we find an approximation to the nearest square inch, let's see, 196 pi is approximately 615.75. So to the nearest inch, well, square inch, it would be 616. So it's approximately 616 square inches. Example 3. The Earth's equator is about 24,902 miles long. What is its approximate surface area? Round to the nearest 1,000 square miles. Alright, so if we're talking about the length of the equator, that means we're actually looking for, or we're actually talking about the circumference of our sphere. So remember, circumference is 2 pi r. And so if we know the circumference is 24,902 miles long, we can plug that in and solve for the radius. So to get r by itself, we would divide by 2 pi on each side. So r is approximately, let's see, 24902 divided by 2 pi. that's not right. 24902 over 2 pi. 3963.3. So 3,963.3 miles is our approximate radius. All right, so now that we know that, we can plug it into our formula for surface area to figure out what our surface area is. So surface area is 4 pi r squared, so 3963.3 squared. It's going to be a big old number. So 4 times 3963.3 squared and times pi. All right, so we got, let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 197,389,368.9. So we want it to round it to the nearest thousand. So to the nearest nine. So it's going to be 197,389. 0, 0, 0 to the nearest square mile. All right, so our surface area is approximately 197,389,000 square miles. Example 4, what is the surface area of a melon with a circumference of 18 inches? Round your answer to the nearest 10 square inches. So this is similar to the one we just did, where we're going to start out with circumference, which again is pi r, not pi r squared, 2 pi r, excuse me. We know that C is 18. And so to find our radius divided by 2 pi, so let's see, 18 divided by 2 pi is approximately, we'll say 2.86. So our radius is approximately 2.86. This is inches. All right, so now we're going to plug that into our formula for surface area. 4 pi r squared. And r squared is 2.86 inches. So 4 times pi times 2.86 squared. And we get 102.78. But they want us to round it to the nearest tens, so we're going to near it to the, that tens is right there. So we're going to do to the, it'll be 100 is our nearest tens. Sorry about that. So surface area is approximately 100 inches squared. Excuse me. All right, so this brings us to volume of a sphere. Again, another very pretty simple formula. Volume of a sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed, where r is the radius of the sphere. So example 5. All right, example 5, what is the volume of the sphere in terms of pi? So from our picture, we know our radius is 6 meters. Plug that into your formula. Volume is 4/3 pi r cubed, and r is 6 meters cubed. They want this in terms of pi. So we're going to do 4/3 times 6 to the third power, which is 288. So our volume is 288 pi meters cubed. Example 6. A sphere has a diameter of 60 inches. What is its volume to the nearest cubic inch? All right, so if its diameter is 60 inches, and that means its radius is half of that, which is 30. And we're going to plug that into our formula. V is 4/3 pi r cubed, so 30 inches cubed. That's going to be a big number. Alright, so 4/3, they want it to the nearest cubic inch. So I'm going to put in my pi, and then 30 to the third power. That's our exact solution, 36,000 pi. And our approximation is to the nearest cubic inch. So that's going to be approximately, let's see, 113,097 inches cubed. So 113,097 inches cubed is our volume to the nearest cubic inch. Example 7. So one of the big skills when it comes to surface area and volume of spheres is given surface area, find the volume, or given volume, find the surface area. So that's what we're going to be doing for this one. We're given that the volume of a sphere is 500 or 5,000 cubic meters. We want to find the surface area of the sphere to the nearest square meter. Okay, so we're going to start with our volume formula. 4/3 pi r cubed. Now, we know the volume's 5,000. And so our missing piece of information is the radius. So we can solve for the radius. So this is 4/3 times pi times r cubed. So to undo multiplication, we divide. Divided by 4/3 pi r cubed. Let's see, 5,000 over 4/3 pi. That gives us 1193.66. 1193.66. All right, so when we had, say this was r squared, we would take the square root of each side to get r by itself. So similarly, we're going to take the cubed root on each side, which your cubed root looks like a square root sign, but it has a little 3 right here. So cubed root. The way you do that on your calculator, this button right here, you'll see up here it says x and then square root. Right here, this button right here, x and then square root. So whatever number we want for x, we're going to put that first. So we want the cubed and then second that button. So there we got cubed root, and we want the cubed root of our answer. So 10.6 approximately is our radius. So r is approximately 10.6. Now, if your calculator, whichever calculator you're using, doesn't have this type of button here to be able to do cubed root, what you can do is raise for the power. Square root, if you take the square root, that's the same thing as raising something to the 1/2 power. And so you can also do to the 1/3 power, and that would be the same as the cube root. So for example, we had 1193.66, and if we raise that to the 1/3 power, you'll see we get the same thing. So if you don't have the ability to do whatever root you want, like this right here, then you can do it to the 1/3 power, and that's the same thing. All right, so we know our radius is 10.6. This is what, meters. All right, so now we're going to take that and plug that into our formula for surface area, which was 4 pi r squared. So 4 pi, 10.6 meters squared to the nearest square meter. Okay, so 4 pi times 10.6 squared is 1411.95. So to the nearest square meter, we'd round that up to 1412. So our surface area is approximately 1,412 meters squared. So there you go. Example 8. The volume of a sphere is 4,200 cubic feet. What is its surface area to the nearest tenth? Alright, so again we're going to start with our formula for volume. 4/3 pi r cubed. Our volume is 4,200. We need to get r by itself, so we're going to start by dividing by 4/3 pi on each side. Oops, 4/3, not 43. So let's see, we've got 4,200 divided by 4/3 pi, and that is approximately 1,002.68. So radius cubed is approximately 1,002.68. And then we're going to cube root each side. So we will do our answer. Actually, no, 3 second squared answer. And we get 10.008, so about 10 10 feet. So our radius is about 10 feet. Okay, so now that we've got our radius, we're going to plug that into our formula for surface area. Surface area is 4 pi r squared. So we're going to plug in 10 for r. So surface area is 4 pi times 10 feet squared. That's going to be 10 squared is 100 times 4 is 400 pi, which is approximately 1256. It wants it to the nearest what is it, 10th. Okay, so 1,256.6 feet squared is our approximate surface area. Alright, example 9. A bird bath is made in the shape of a hemisphere, which is half a sphere. If its radius is 10 inches, approximate its volume in cubic inches. So we're going to figure out what the volume is and then cut it in half because it's half of the sphere. So we've got a radius of 10 inches. So volume would be 4/3 pi 10 inches cubed. So 4/3 times pi times 10 to the third power, and we get approximately 4,188.8. And we want half of that, so we're going to divide by 2. And so divided by 2, so the volume of our bird bath is approximately 2,094.4 inches cubed. Example 10. The volume of a sphere is 140 cubic centimeters. Find the surface area of the sphere to the nearest whole number. So again, just like 7 and 8, we got 4/3 pi r cubed. So 140 is 4/3 pi r cubed. Divide by 4/3 pi on each side. So r cubed is going to be 140 over 4/3 pi, 33.4. take the cube root of each side. And so the cube root of our answer, 3.22. So our radius is approximately 3.22 centimeters. So then we plug that into our formula for volume, or for surface area, which is 4 pi 3.22 centimeters squared. So 4 times pi times 3.22 squared. 130.3 to the nearest whole number would be 130. So our surface area is approximately 130 centimeters squared. All right. So if you've got questions, you know where to find me. Zoom office hours, 9:30 to 10 every day. Email or Snapchat. Have a good day.